Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Let's talk, boys. No intro. We don't need any. I got my dinner here. Let's see if I can show you guys. We got some tomatoes, some kebab. We got some lamb shank, bitter rice. Lots of protein tonight. I'm going to have those protein farts tomorrow. That's for sure, bro. Whew. Man, busy day. Someone at work got fired. Craziness. Crazy day at Muay Thai as well. My neck is a little more recovered this time. But we ride. I just got some parsley stuck in my throat. But anyway, this is where we left off last time. The stupid Luiz Diaz news. So let's continue from there. You could officially vote for your Bayern player of the season until July 27th. So you have 10 more days to do so. So get in there and vote. I personally voted, although we got injured towards the end of the season, I personally voted Jamal Musiala. I think people are, because of recency bias, people are forgetting that this kid from August, basically up until February, a month before he got injured, he really was carrying the attack. Musiala really was carrying the attack. I don't think a lot of people realize, honestly. Yeah. So I think if there were no injuries, say no one got injured and they played the entire season, I think my top two would definitely have been Musiala, Upamecano, and then an Olise. And then maybe a Joshua Kimmich, Harry Kane, those kinds of guys. But yeah, because of their injuries, it's tough to give a full argument for Musiala. I think a lot of people, I think Olise will win this landslide. It's like not even going to be close. Olise will win Bayern Player of the Season, but it's largely due because of injuries. And, I'd be happy for Olise if he wins. So it's not like I'm trying to hate. But, yeah. Vote your Bayern Player of the Season. You have 10 days left. Let's get to real news. So, news on Leonard Carl. Carl is expected to take a permanent spot in the squad as Michael Olise's backup on the right wing. Very good news. Similar to Jamal Musiala in 2020, that 17-year-old will have to take advantage of the chances he gets and earn more playing time. This is great news. This kid will only develop more, and it will be better for his career if he just stays at Bayern and plays with the top dogs every day, training every day. This is how his level is just going to go up. This is how it's going to happen. So, good news, Leonard Carl, stay, be patient. What are you, 17, 18 years old? Like, he's still very young, I'm pretty sure. So, the kid's a baller. The kid's a baller, and I hope we don't get rid of him at any point. I think he can. I think this is a genuine talent from the academy that can break into the first team. He can. So, good for him. I hope he stays. He's having the right mentality if this is how he truly feels. So, Leonard Carl. And honestly, from what I saw of him, can he really not play the left wing? Leonard Carl, you can play the left wing, bro. Like, just give it a shot. I mean, why not? He's a baller. If he's a baller, he could play on both sides. He's right-footed. So, he probably won't be able to get the best crosses in with his left foot. But like Olise, he could cut in on the inside and cross with his right foot. So, he's going to be staying in the squad. Viso Company should definitely look at Leonard Carl on the left wing. He should definitely try those out, especially in these preseason games coming up against Lyon, Tottenham, and all those guys. Let's see Carl on the left wing, and let's see what he does. I'm interested. So, that's Leonard. Leonard news right there. Adam Asnu news. This is good news, actually. Um, Despite contact with Getafe, Adam Asno is staying at Bayern for the time being. Vincent Company doesn't see Asno as any better than Rafael Guerrero, which is wild because at his age, he probably is at Guerrero's level or close to it. Actually, no, that's a little bit disrespectful to Guerrero. He probably isn't at Guerrero's level technically, but as a fullback, maybe he is. As like attacking wise and defensive, all aspects of the game together, maybe he is. So I don't know how much I believe Frank Likic. I don't know how he knows Company doesn't see Asno as any better than Rafael Guerrero, but anyway, yeah, he doesn't see Asno any better than Rafael Guerrero, for example. Hence, his limited game time in the Club World Cup. The people in charge are hoping that Asno will show more determination, including his training performances, and seize the opportunity given the absence of Alphonso Davies and Hiroki Ito. The doors to an exit, however, are not closed as the player wants out. So it's what I was talking about with Asno. Like, once Alphonso Davies comes back from injury, like, yeah, Alfonso is going to get back at left back position. He's going to take it, and it's going to be his position, right? So Asnu, there's some big competition there. You're dealing with probably the best left back in the world when he's fully fit, right? But you can also look at it, Asnu, as this. Right now, Alfonso Davies probably won't be back to full fitness until December. Same thing for Hiroki Ito. I have until now, July 2025 to December. I have 6 months, 5.5, 6 months to impress and get into the team and get serious minutes at Bayern as the starting left back. Seems like a pretty good opportunity for me. It's very similar to Paul Vanner. We read the news last time out on the live stream. Apparently, Paul Vanner doesn't see any opportunities at Bayern this year. Really? You're a number 10. We are lacking a number 10 because Musiala will be out until February next year. February or March next year. You're saying there's no opportunity? Paul Vanner, you can be and establish yourself as a number 10 for Bayern for the next 6-7 months if you seize your opportunity, if you have the right mentality. So similar thing with Asno here. Because of injuries, you have an opportunity here to get some serious game time and convince some people. So, yeah. Asno and Van are honestly in very similar situations. So I hope he stays, and I hope he fights for his place. Now, if he's showing up to training, playing hard whenever he gets his chance, shows quality, and he's still getting put in as second choice behind Rafael Guerrero, that's a Vincent Kompany issue. And he's the coach, and if he doesn't want to play him, he doesn't want to play him. Then leave, and I'll have no gripe. So, Asnu, just stay patient, bro. You're fucking 18, 19 years old, bro. Big news here. And this is crazy to me. Rodrygo was offered to Bayern and was briefly discussed back in May. But since not all decision makers are convinced, he's currently not a hot topic for the club. Really? Are we serious right now? Am I reading the same thing you guys are reading on the screen right now? Rodrygo was off to Bayern and was briefly discussed back in May, so like a month and a half ago. But since not all decision makers are convinced, he's currently not a hot topic for the club. So, Luiz Diaz or Rodrygo? So let's compare the two. Rodrygo and Luiz Diaz, they are similar. Let's be honest. Rodrygo and Luiz Diaz are very similar in the fact that they're both purple patch merchants. You cannot ignore that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Rodrygo, he's excellent. He's world class. No. If we're being honest, Rodrygo is a major purple patch merchant. But the thing that separates Rodrygo from Luiz Diaz is he knows how to win a Champions League. He knows what it takes to win a Champions League. He's shown up multiple times for Real Madrid in the big Champions League nights, in the most high-pressure scenarios in the knockout stages. He's shown up and he scored goals, and he scored big goals, winning goals. And that's a huge attribute over Luiz Diaz. So I could see how Bayern, people will look at this and be like, oh, but the Bayern board is stupid. I hate the board. But you really have to deep it. Rodrygo and Luiz Diaz, are two very similar players. They're both purple patch merchants. When both Luis Diaz and Rodrygo are on form and in their purple patch, they are very good players. They're one of the top wingers in the world. And when they're off their purple patch, they're both equally trash and equally useless. But the main separating factor here for Rodrygo over Luis Diaz is the fact that he's shown up on the biggest UCL nights for Real Madrid. He's won 2 Champions Leagues. He knows what it takes. Luis Diaz doesn't. But on the other hand, for Luis Diaz's case, even though he hasn't really shown those attributes, has that experience, he will cost significantly less on the wage bill compared to Rodrygo. If we want to sign Rodrygo, we'll probably have to offer him at least 15, 16 million a year. With Luis Diaz, we only have to offer this guy 5, 6, 7 million a year. Significantly cheaper. And we all know one of the big goals for the board right now is to not get us in a situation that Hassan Salihamidzic put us in, where we have so many people on 20 million a year, 18, 19 million a year, where our wage bill is so fucking goddamn high. It's a really big goal for this board to bring the wage bill down. So that's why they like Luis Diaz so much. And I'm going to make a video on this, a short, like 7-8 minute video on this, explaining what the true value is in Luis Diaz that the Bayern board sees. So that's the main thing here, price. So it really depends. If you're a Bayern fan and you're looking at the club situation and you are going to pick between the two players, it comes down to your preference. Do you want to be reactionary and get the guy in Rodrygo with the accolades, with the moments, but not really realize that he's just a purple patch merchant just like Luis Diaz? Or do you want Luis Diaz, who's a purple patch merchant, doesn't have that Champions League experience of Rodrygo, but he's significantly cheaper? It's an interesting conversation to have, but honestly, I don't know who I would choose if I had to pick between the two. I would constantly go back and forth. So yeah, he was offered. That's good to know. If the board end up changing their mind in 2-3 weeks and they want to go for him, apparently it's a realistic option. So that's good to see. More news, Luis Diaz. CEO Jan Christian Andresen is leading the talks with Liverpool for Luis Diaz. Bayern are planning a new offer. The player wants to move. Listen, because this Luis Diaz stuff is getting forced down our faces, down our throats every day, I'm slightly warming up to the idea. My biggest issue with Luis Diaz is the fact that he's a purple patch merchant, that he's on and off, the fact that he's 29 years old. But the good thing is with Luis Diaz is he will not garner a huge wage whatsoever. That's a big positive. That's a big fat plus. So, listen, I'm not completely anti-Luis Diaz. I made a video 2 weeks ago saying avoid. I'd still say avoid. My prognosis on the Luis Diaz Bayern links is avoid for Bayern. But given how cheap his wage would be, it's kind of smart business. The only thing that's not smart about it is the fact that if we want to sign him, we probably have to spend 70 million range for him. That's the only negative. Now, let me tell you now, if we could have gotten Luis Diaz right now for 40, 45 million, I'm in full support of this transfer. But it's the fact that we have to take the extra step and pay that extra 30, 75 million for him, most likely, is the crazy thing. I know Liverpool, we talked about it 2 nights ago, 2 nights ago. Liverpool value him at 100 million plus. That small club Liverpool don't know anything. They're idiots. This is not a 100 million plus player. This is 75 million max. And I really hope Bayern aren't desperate to the point where they will spend 80, 90, 100 million on Luis Diaz. Really, 75 million is like my absolute max. But I'll tell you now, like I just said, if we could get Luis Diaz for like 40 million, I would be so happy with that. I would be extremely happy with that. I would say, go for it, get that deal done. But that extra 30, 40 million, it just gets you thinking like there has to be other options. And that's kind of a factor that makes you say, let's not just go all guns blazing for Luiz Diaz. Let's look at the options all across Europe. So we'll see what the club does. I think there's going to be more Luiz Diaz news. Bayern legend Sepp Maier personally defends Uli Hoeneß. Oh my God, you guys. That's like a whole essay. Do I even want to read a whole essay right now? Holy shit. Listen, Sepp, I know that's your boy. Listen, I'm not going to read all this. Let's read the first half. Or let's read the first paragraph. Bayern legend Sepp Maier with passion, guys. He loves his boy. Passionately defends Uli Hoeneß against the criticism of Lothar Matthäus and Marcus Babbel. Honestly, that really made me angry. Oh, the disrespect is unacceptable. First of all, Marcus Babbel should consider what he owes FC Bayern in the first place. Without Uli, he might never have had such a career. True. This is true. I know that these days, every one of these experts feels the need to trumpet their opinion, but what Babbel said is the lowest of the low. To claim that Uli Hoeneß is FC Bayern's biggest problem isn't just disrespectful, it's just plain stupid. Maybe I'll read the whole thing. He's kind of cooking. I won't lie, he's kind of cooking. Marcus Babbel, we read what he said 2 nights ago. In my opinion, there's definitely a lot more issues at Bayern right now that need to be solved than Uli Hoeneß still having a significant say at the club. That's just my opinion. He continues, my God, Lothar has been playing the same record for decades. It bores me. If you say you don't take Uli seriously anymore, then why do you keep talking about him? Uli lives in his own world? Well, that's the world in which FC Bayern has become one of the biggest clubs in the world. You have to get that right first. Actually, you know what, Sepp? You're cooking, bro. You might have dementia or be developing dementia, but bro, honestly, he's cooking. I can't lie. Of course, football continues to evolve, but that doesn't mean everything old is bad. Uli is someone with backbone, with clear opinions and a passion for the club. That's something many people lack these days. And just because he speaks his mind doesn't mean he's the problem. Quite the opposite. Without Uli, many of these people wouldn't even be where they are today. Unfortunately, the problem lies in experts with Babbel and Lothar. That part I don't agree with. I think former players and stuff calling out the club on their bullshit, I like it. I mean, I like that they do that, but honestly, their attacks on Uli Hoeneß are a little misguided. Not attacks, but their criticisms are a little misguided. Uli is a legend. You know, we wouldn't be here without him. Do I think he should really take a step back from the dealings at the club? Absolutely. I mean, he was supposed to do that 2 years ago. Him and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge were supposed to just step back. But because Oliver Kahn and Hasan Salihamidzic were driving the club into the ground with the way they were dealing with transfers and everything, they had to get back involved. They had to just step back in. They had to big bro them and be like, step aside, my little bitches. We got to fix your mess. He continues, sure, Uli was never a diplomat, but he says what he thinks, and that's earned him many enemies. But that's always been his strength. If you have a problem with him, you can call him and tell him. But to stand up in public and attack him like that is simply weak, especially from former players who benefited from his work. They have to show a bit more respect. More respect. You don't have to agree with everything Uli says or does, but to dismiss him like that is a disgrace. They should both ask themselves what they owe the club and Uli, and maybe keep quiet if they have nothing constructive to say. Listen, honestly, bro cooked. I can't lie. Sepp Maier cooked. One of the best goalies of all time. He cooked. World Cup winner cooked. So, respect, bro. He's standing up for his boy. He's just standing up for his boy. I mean, you love to see it. Even in old age, the bro code never dies. Bro code never dies, even if you're 75 years old, about to, 75 years old, ordering your own casket. Like, bro code runs deep, guys. Bro code, they got that kind of bro code right there. That's honestly, that's sick. Anyway, so respect Sepp Maier. News on preseason stuff. So contrary to the past few years, Bayern will not hold a training camp in Tega. I can never say this place, bro. Tegernse Rotach Egern. How do you say that, bro? I don't know how you say it. This summer, due to the tight schedule after the Club World Cup, kind of expected. I mean, the guys get 3 months off and then head right into preseason. So, is what it is. The official EAFC 26 standard edition cover. Look at our boy. Bayern on his side, Musiala, Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid on the left side. That's a sick ass cover, bro. I'm gonna be honest, that's fucking dope. I love that shit. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I retired from video games. I retired from FIFA 4 years ago. I watched the gameplay trailer for this FC26. It looks pretty good. But I'm done with video games. I'm never gonna go back. Musiala on being on the cover of FC26. I was that little kid. Growing up, I'd see my idols on the cover. It seemed impossible to think that one day I'd be in their position. I'd play the game with my friends, my dad, and my sister. These players, Ronaldinho, Messi, Neymar, Cristiano Ronaldo, were untouchable in my eyes. I'd watch their skills, then go out to the garden or the park, dribbling through cones, seeing what I could learn from them. So this is a big moment for me, a dream come true. Bro, Musiala, I miss you already, bro. I fucking miss this guy, dude. Jude Bellingham, from those early days playing together with Musiala to now being on the biggest stage, it's been an incredible journey. Being on the FC cover last year was a massive achievement, and to be alongside Jamal this year, that's something I'll never take for granted. Bro, that's just sick. Like, these guys were boys in the England setup 10 years ago, and now they're two of the faces of the sport right now. I mean, two of the faces of the sport. This is huge. Absolutely huge, Musiala. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Bellingham having this success. Both guys very young, just super successful. When I was their age, I was a loser. I mean, I was their age 3 years ago, but I was a fucking loser. And I still am a fucking loser. Because look at me. I'm on stream at 10:20 p.m. eating my dinner and talking about 22-year-olds on FIFA covers. Like, this is peak life right here. This is absolutely peak life right here. I mean, I was born for this. He's a marauder. I don't know if you guys watch MMA Guru. He's a marauder. Busting, bro. Busting. Anyway, Musiala had an interview. Let's see what he had to say. Let's go. Let's read everything here. What's our boy saying? Jamal Musiala recalls his move to Bayern. It wasn't planned that we would leave England and go back to Germany. I had just finished my school exams and I was enjoying being at Chelsea. But then Bayern came in, and again, it just felt right to try something new. I knew how big Bayern were, and in the end, I just thought, why not? Take the chance, go for it, and let's see if it works out. I never tried to think too much about what could go wrong in these moments. I'd much rather just trust myself and go with the flow. Bro, honestly, that's a great that quote is a great representation of his play style. Sometimes he just wants to take the ball, trust himself, go with the flow, and see if he could take on 7 guys at one time. That's the Musiala mentality. Guys, that's my fucking boy right there. The Musiala mentality. Who else has that mentality, bro? Who else? Love the kid. What else does he have to say? Musiala, on the best players he played alongside and he identifies with. I will give that to Thomas Müller. I've learned so much from him. So many little bits of advice, and I've had so much fun playing with him. There are so many players I could say, but Thomas is at the top. I'm going to miss Thomas, bro. Bro, Thomas, man. Look at this picture, bro. Him and his son. Oh, my God. I'm going to stop before I get emotional, but yeah. I think Musiala, you could tell from his game that he's really learned a lot from Müller, like how smart he is in tight spaces, how he conducts the midfield from the number 10 position, how he conducts the press when he's the starting number 10. He has picked up a lot of info and a lot of good advice from Thomas Müller. You could just see when he plays on the field. If you open your eyes, you see a lot of things that Thomas Müller would do from the number 10 that Musiala is now doing, so it's good to see. Musiala on his toughest opponents. Antonio Rudiger. We played against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and that was quite tough. I've known him for quite a few years, and yeah, it's not nice to play against him. Well, Jamal, I mean, seeing how Rudiger was playing at the Club World Cup, you might not be playing with him longer. I mean, let's see how Rudiger adjusts in that Xabi Alonso system, the higher line, the high press. I hope he does well because Germany need him to be at his best for the World Cup next year. But maybe he might not be the toughest guy anymore, bro. Fire. Musiala on regaining the Bundesliga title last season. Losing the title to Leverkusen was hard, as it should be. As soon as I broke through at Bayern, in and around all these great players, I realized what was needed to play for the club and what was expected of you. So that disappointment gave us the extra push we needed last season. Oopsies. Oh, crap, guys. Come on. Gave us the extra push we needed last season. We knew we needed to do a lot more to get back to the stage, lifting the trophy. That's what we did. And now we're champions again. We will have to play with even more hunger next season because that feeling of lifting the trophy is something we want again. Musiala on his decision to play for Germany over England. It wasn't an easy decision. I still have a lot of love for England and a lot of my closest friends are from there, but it was the decision that me and my family made together. It could have gone either way, but in the end, we made a good decision. It felt right, but that doesn't mean the love I have for England has ever gone away. Which is why I say, bro, if we don't treat him right and we don't navigate him correctly in the future, I could see Musiala going to the Premier League. I could see him after this contract of his ends or is coming down to an end. I could see him getting enticed to a Premier League move. I could see that maybe in like 3 years' time, if Chelsea are like Champions League winners or something, who knows where they're at. I could see him making a return. I don't necessarily have in my mind. I don't have this thought in my mind where, oh, Musiala will be a Bayern player for the rest of his career. I don't want to think like that because I don't want to be extremely disappointed in the future. So, good for him, Jamal. Good for him. And just imagine if he played for England, bro. England would have a midfield of Rice, Bellingham, Musiala, Saka on the right. I mean, what the hell is that? Harry Kane up top. That's craziness. Thank you for choosing Germany, Jamal Musiala. Musiala on what he can still improve on. In big games, I still feel I can take an extra step forward, bro. And in my opinion, you're one of our biggest big game players, bro. Like, you command the pitch in the big games, in my opinion. So don't be too harsh on yourself. But hey, elite mentality. He's always looking to improve and get better and better. So I'd love to see it. News on the women's team. 30,000 tickets have already been sold for Bayern Frauen's Bundesliga opener against Leverkusen at the Allianz Arena. The club's record attendance for the women was 24,000 in the Champions League game against Barcelona in December 22, and that's already been surpassed. So, good news. The women's team is growing. The hype in Munich for the women's team is growing. That's great to see. They deserve it. Julia Gwynn, my goat. Love her. Yeah. Is that Julia? I'm pretty sure that's Julia Gwynn. She just looks a little different there, but anyway. More Woltemade news. Big Woltemade news, actually. What am I talking about? Bayern have submitted a second bid to Stuttgart for Nick Woltemade. 50 million fixed plus 5 million add-ons and a 10% sell-on clause to VfB. Stuttgart have rejected it again this morning. Expected. They're going to be stubborn, but we will force the deal. Stuttgart would only start considering offers at 65. And honestly, bro, 65 to 75 million is the max I pay for Stuttgart. If the club turned around and said, after like a 75 million euro bid that's rejected, if they turned around and said, we're not going to pursue this anymore, I honestly wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad, in all honesty. So keep pursuing it, boys. Eberel, keep pursuing it. But let's cap it around 75 million. In all honesty, let's cap it at 75 million. Let's not overpay for Nick. More Bayern FC news. FC Bayern and EA Sports have signed a new long-term partnership. Cool. Allianz Arena back on EAFC. Cool. The trailer. Cool. Bayern CFO Michael Diederich. Passion, commitment, and emotion are the hallmarks of football, both on the pitch and in the virtual world, and the gaming community is growing with every move. We at FC Bayern are all excited to share these attributes with our new partner, EA Sports FC. Blah, 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 don't give a shit. James Taylor, Director of Football Partnerships at EA Sports. We are incredibly proud to welcome FC Bayern as an exclusive partner of the EA Sports FC. As one of the most iconic clubs in world football, with a legacy of excellence, a global fan base, and an unmatched influence on the sport, FC Bayern München represents the very best of the game. It's a privilege to bring their story, players, and passion to life for millions of fans in EA Sports FC 26 and beyond. Honestly, I'm getting texts on my phone and my computer. I don't know if you could hear the text message like buzzer. Hopefully you can't, but you probably are. Yeah, good to see. We're us being with that eFootball bullshit, that awful game, like we're Bayern, bro. We need to be in all the best games in football. We need to be involved in all the biggest aspects of football. We need to be involved. And for Bayern and for the virtual world, EA Sports, EA FIFA, whatever you want to call it, FC, EA FC, that's the biggest thing in the virtual gaming world for football. So happy with it. And Florian Plettenberg confirms that Bayern have submitted a second written offer to Nick Woltemade. Same shit. Negotiations are still going. This clown, Alex Verle, VfB Stuttgart CEO. We're not negotiating. Nick will play for us next year. We don't want to let him go, so I'm the wrong person to name a fee. Listen, bro, how come I just read news that you are willing to listen to offers at 65 million and over? What are you talking about? Stop lying to the media, you fucking idiot. CEO Jan Christian Driesen is in charge of the negotiations with Stuttgart for Nick Woltemade. Following Jamal Musiala's injury, Bayern are currently not considering a new loan move for Paul Werner. The 19-year-old will get his chance in preseason. Good. And Paul Werner, if you just change your mentality a little bit, this is the perfect opportunity, you freaking small little, skinny little twink, to take your opportunity and get some serious minutes for Bayern at the beginning of this next season. You have a great opportunity here. Take it. Take it, bro. Jesus Christ, pissing me off with this shitty-ass mentality. Luiz Diaz is Bayern's absolute desired target for the left wing. Within the club, it is said that the Colombian brings everything that is needed from an attacking player in Vincent Kompany's system, namely intensity and physicality to play at the top level every 3 days. Everyone is convinced. The fact that Diaz is also flexible and can play central is another advantage. Like, these are all true. Again, my biggest issue with Luiz Diaz is the purple patch merchant, the on and off form. That's my only big issue here. Like, that and the price tag. But listen, if they think he fits, if they make this signing, even though I wouldn't be happy with it, I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to say it's going to be a disaster. I will sit back, watch, and give him a chance first, and then I'll talk. Then I'll give my opinion. But if this transfer happens, even though I want us to avoid him, fair enough. Now, Vincent Kompany, since it's the player you want, you damn better, you better than be sure that he's going to perform. Okay? So we'll see what happens. The names being rumored on a daily basis, such as Xavi Simons, Rodrygo, Nkunku, Trossard, Renato Viega, are currently not a topic of discussion at Bayern. The club's full focus on the moment is Luiz Diaz and Nick Woltemade. Cool. Whatever. Christoph Freund is a fan of Royal Union Saint Gilloy. I don't know how to say that. Forward Franjo Ivanovic. The Austrian-born Croatian is mainly a striker, but can play across all positions in attack. Freund is keeping an eye on the player, but as things stand, there is no offer. Frankfurt are also interested in Ivanovic and see him as a potential replacement for Marmoush/Ekitike next to Jonathan Burkhardt. USG want around 25 million. Ivanovic is open to a Bundesliga move, having played for Augsburg at the beginning of his career. Don't know anything about him. Don't care. Bradley Barcola basically says no chance he leaves PSG, and PSG are going to try to make him a top 5 highest paid players at PSG. So Barcola dream over. João Palhinha on his future. I have a contract with Bayern for another 3 years, so I'll report back on the 29th, which is when we start preseason. Enjoying these vacation days with my family and friends is the most important thing right now. Regarding my future, as I've said several times, I have 3 years left on my contract. I don't know what will happen, but I'm at a great club, as I've always said. Obviously, it hasn't been easy for me, but I'm very motivated to, as soon as the season starts, prove my worth once again at a very special club like Bayern, a huge club. Bro, this is the right mentality. Bro, the youngsters, Asnu, Vanner, all these guys, you need to look up to a Palhinha. He came very expensive, 50 million, and we made it known that we wanted to bring him. He came, he had a pretty bad season with us. He couldn't really establish himself in the team, was a bench player. He had 2 big slip-ups this year, red card in a Bundesliga game, and messing up Musiala, the greatest assist of the century, and Musiala, what could have been the greatest assist of the century in that Leverkusen game. He messed up, and a lot of people turned on him, but bro, he has the mentality to just sit there, work hard, and prove his worth, because that's how it should be. When your player plays at a club like Bayern, like a Real Madrid, like a Barcelona, like these huge gargantuan clubs, you need to prove yourself to Bayern. You need to show Bayern and the fans and the management and the higher ups that you're worthy of the badge. And Palhinha is willing to do that. So I hope we keep him. I really think he can have a good role to play at Bayern next season. And he's such a different profile midfielder compared to the other guys we have in the team. So I really hope we keep Palhinha. Seriously. Woltemade news, Stuttgart CEO and bum and cuck, Alex Werle, and sporting director and bum and clown, and what can I say that won't get me banned off YouTube? Fabian Wohlgemuth have the full support of the supervisory board to stay firm in the negotiations for Nick Woltemade. Club president Dietmar Allgeier and the club's 2 shareholders, Porsche and Mercedes, are firmly behind with the rejection of Bayern's first 2 bids. Should Bayern fail to submit an exceptional offer, Stuttgart's board is clearly in favor of Woltemade staying. Stuttgart are not relying on transfer revenues this summer. Porsche's entry as a shareholder is expected to bring the club up to 100 million euros. Damn, that's big. Added to that, the Champions League revenue from last season, the club is financially more stable than it has ever been in over a decade. Therefore, they're not under pressure to sell. Only an offer of at least 65 million would make VfB consider. Cool. We're going to come at you with 75 million max, and you will give us Voltemessi. Bayern wouldn't stand in the Sacha Bowie's way in case of a suitable offer. Galatasaray have been working on bringing Bowie back for some time, but the Frenchman is keen to stay at Bayern. Cool. I mean, keep him squad player. Personally, he's too much of a liability defensively. He is good attacking-wise. He's good on the ball. I'd keep him. He's not on a crazy wage or anything. I'd keep him. Give him one more chance this season, but if it doesn't work out this year, for sure sell Sacha Bowie after this season. And yeah, don't really give him a chance to be a starter. Like, just use him as a squad player. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Florian Wirtz's father/agent Hans Wirtz speaks about the failed move to Bayern. On the meetings with Uli Hoeneß and rumors about an agreement with Bayern, I couldn't give a commitment because Florian ultimately makes the decision. It was still open at the time. The situation with Bayern was difficult because Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge made incredible efforts and also made a clear analysis of the sporting aspect. I have the greatest respect for Uli and his life's work. After Florian's ACL tear, he selflessly helped us quickly get an appointment for surgery in Innsbruck. But we are still grateful to him for that. That's why the final phone call with Uli Hoeneß was very difficult for me. How did Hoeneß react? We had spoken several times beforehand, so he was as objective and fair as I'd ever known him. But of course, he couldn't hide his disappointment. After all, he had personally worked hard to bring the transfer. The newspaper reported that a meeting with all parties took place in Munich on May 18th. However, Viesson Company reportedly was unable to convince your son. Viesson Company also had very good thoughts and ideas about how he wanted to integrate Florian into the FC Bayern team. In the end, it was a matter of details. The decision ultimately had to do with the different sporting situations and Florian's role. Financially, there weren't any major differences between the two clubs. Again, Bayern really tried hard, but a decision had to be made. Florian saw the move abroad as a new personal and sporting challenge and therefore chose Liverpool. We all share this view. Listen, bro, I know a lot of people were crashing out about us not getting verts and how it's embarrassing this and that. Listen, we put our best step forward. We tried our hardest and he didn't want to come. And that's that. We move on. The future of our club did not depend on Florian Wirtz coming to the team. And Wirtz and his father didn't go about rejecting Bayern disrespectfully. Like, they never fully gave their commitment. They said they were looking at their options. And in the end, Wirtz went with the move abroad to Liverpool. And if that's what he feels he needed and that's what he wants in his career right now, he's still very young. He won't. Who says he'll be in England for the rest of his career? Go for it, bro. Go experience your life, and I hope he's successful at Liverpool. I do. And respect for Uli Hoeneß for trying so hard throughout these years to put us in the best position we can be in to sign Wirtz when he was ready to leave Leverkusen. So, in the end, yes, we put a lot of work into him and trying to convince him to come, but they made a respectful decision to go somewhere else. Is what it is. So good luck to Florian. Respect to his dad and him for keeping things respectful and being transparent. So that's all you could really ask for. On August 25th, Bayern's supervisory board will hold its quarterly meeting just a few days before the closure of the transfer window. The meeting will either discuss potential last-minute transfers, which is never the desired scenario, or assess the window. Either way, Abrel will be in the spotlight. Abrel must deliver results in the next 6 weeks. His future at the club depends on that. Finalizing deals for Woltemade and Diaz will be crucial for him. Uli Hoeneß, in particular, wants to see Woltemade at Bayern. After failing with 2 bids, Bayern are planning to submit a third, which is likely to exceed 60 million all-in. As is always the case with major transfers of this magnitude, CEO Jan Christian Driessen is also involved. Driessen enjoys a very good reputation in the industry as a negotiating partner, and his task is to strike balance between sporting reinforcements and economic stability. Abrel, on the other hand, has a close relationship with Stuttgart sporting director Fabian Vogelmuth, but that didn't help a lot in bringing about a reapproachment between the two clubs. The situation is very similar to Diaz. The player is open to the move, but Liverpool are demanding more money. Bayern will have to up their bid. The transfers of Woltemade and Diaz will likely cost a total of around 150 in the end. Therefore, with this magnitude, the big bosses in Bayern's management are involved, especially when things stall. Good. As they should be. You got to operate under pressure, man. At a big club like this, you got to deliver results. We're a results-based club, not an emotion-based club. Nice little letter here to Muller from FC Bayern Update. I recommend reading it. So go to Amia San Mia Twitter and click on the link and read it. And then last news for the night, Hamburg is the latest club to show interest in a loan deal for Wanner. A personal meeting between the player and the club has already taken place. For the time being, Wanner is expected to stay at Bayern and get a chance to prove himself to his own company during preseason following Musiala's injury. However, if the club manages to secure the desired signings of Woltemade and Luiz Diaz, Wanner's playing time prospects will drastically be reduced. The 19-year-old is rather skeptical about staying at Bayern next season. Listen, bro, even if those guys get signed, you still benefit more staying at Bayern and training with these top-class players every day. That's my honest opinion. That's just my honest opinion. It will be more beneficial to you to play with these top dogs every day, train with them, build a relationship with them, learn from them. What are you going to learn at Hamburg? What are you going to learn? This is a team that's been in the dumps the last decade. What are you going to learn there? What legacy, what anything are you going to build? You're 19. Again, these young players are just so impatient. They're so freaking impatient. They want to be the best. They want to be starters at a team like Bayern, Barcelona. Relax. Teenagers are starting there because Musiala is different. Wirtz is different. Pedri is different. Bellingham is all these guys. These are generational talents. for you really good talents like Vanner, let's relax. Let's take these slow steps and make it to the top levels of football without rushing yourself, without putting so much pressure on yourself. Just relax and things will fall into place. That's it. That's the last of the news for tonight. I still got to finish my dinner. I take too long to chew, so I just decided to put that off to the side and not have this whole stream be me chewing my fat ass off in front of the camera. So I'll see you guys in the next stream, probably tomorrow night. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys then. Video will be posted after this live stream, so I'm going to record it now and post it before I go to bed. So stay tuned for that. It's been your boy Hokage. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.